Hi guys, welcome to an exclusive interview. The mask has been taken off, and with me right now in front of me is none other than the Facebook legend, David Scholes. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So guys, Fastlane, as promised, this is the second interview, and basically what I'm going to be doing, David's going to be sharing some really good value with you guys. I'm going to be grilling David. He's in the hot seat. He's actually got a flight to catch, so I'm going to be straight. This is uncut and raw. David, you want to introduce yourself to the public, to anyone who's not heard of you, any fast laners on my group. What do you do? Who you are, man?
Sure. So my name is David Schloss. I've been marketing online for almost 11 years now. And so I had started an agency back in 2007. I first was doing SEO and video marketing. It was the first thing I'd learned by myself. It was the easiest at the time to do. And 3 years into that, I just no longer enjoyed it. It wasn't my passion at all. And it was a massive mess to handle. Google with all sorts of updates and whatnot. Still to this day doing that. And so I moved into paid advertising, and when I did, Facebook was in its infancy. It was basically in like a beta for advertising. It wasn't open to the public yet. And one of the great things that happened was one of my good friends happened to have an invitation into the platform and got me in. And so I got in the early days when the platform was no behavior targeting, interest targeting was not as plentiful as it is today. It was just the Wild West. You'd put something out there and hope for the best. And the tracking was terrible. So we were basically learning how to do everything on the fly. And that's when I jumped into Facebook ads. So it's almost 8 years now.
Wow.
And so I run an agency called Convert ROI. All we do is run Facebook and Instagram advertising for personal brands, influencers, or anyone with any sort of digital product. That's our core focus. Whether you have webinars, high-ticket funnels, doesn't matter. We run ads for that. And so we have become very, very good at just honing in and focusing on that specific type of person. And because of that, we've continued to grow over the last couple of years. We weren't doing as well in the beginning because, like I said, Facebook was such a wild west that it was hard to really gauge how to get people results. But in the last 3.5 to 4 years, we've continued to double in size every year for the last 4 years. And that's just an unbelievable path, and we're basically enjoying another record year in the books. So just taking that momentum into 2018.
Yeah, guys. I mean, David, as you mentioned, I can remember when I started with Facebook ads in 2007, 8. You just put something out, you'd get a lot of engagement, and it was like there was the like ads, right-hand ads, and now there's a big shift. We've got the pixel, we've got behavior targeting, we've even got messenger ads.
Yep.
What actually inspires you and motivates you to get out of bed every single day, knowing that you're David Scholes, you've got this massive agency, and you've got clients who are contacting every day? What motivates you and inspires you?
Well, the freedom keeps me motivated all the time. The fact that I can wake up every day, do exactly as I want, when I want it, talk to whomever I want. I could wake up at noon and start work if I want to. Now, of course, it's not like that very business-friendly to my clients. But if I wanted to do that, I could. And I could still be very efficient, and I could be very effective. And so for me, because I enjoy what I do so much, it's not difficult to get out of bed and do this every day, because I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy getting the results. I enjoy when we fail because I learn from it and get results from it. Right? So no matter what working in the business, I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the hustle. But the great thing is I get to determine how often I hustle and how often I grind. I don't have to do it 7 days a week, 24/7, 365. If I want to work 5 days a week from a 9 to 5 like normal people, I could do that because I dictate what I do during my day.
Awesome, awesome. That's really good. I think that's one of the key things. Most people, they're in a 9 to 5 job at the moment. They want to get out of the 9 to 5 job, but they've got no way out. What advice would you give to those people who are stuck in a job, but they've got the talent, right? But they can't find a way out? What would you say to those guys?
Yeah, so if you're in a 9 to 5, the first thing you really need to ask yourself is, are you comfortable with working 12 to 15-hour days? Because you're about to go from 8 to 15-hour days. Because when you start a business, and you know this, you've experienced it too, when you start out, There is no punch clock. There is no, hey boss, I'm here. You have to get up out of bed and go to work. In your house, at an office, whatever. And because no one's holding you to a time schedule, you often find yourself working longer hours. But some people don't realize that just because you're working longer hours, right? You could work 15 hours in a day and only technically be working 6. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people screw around during the day. So prepare yourself to work double and possibly make less, because that's typically what happens in the beginning. And if you can't take that, whether financially or, you know, just mentally handle the stress of what it's like to start a business, then don't. Wait, because you have to be physically and mentally prepared for that. And most people don't prepare. They just go all in, they quit their job, they're like, let's do this, and they have no savings. They were not forecasting the results in advance. Like, they just weren't prepared, and because of that, they end up having to go back to a job. When it would have been better for them to just wait, create a plan, start slowly, then go all in.
Absolutely.
That's my suggestion.
Yeah. No, that's really accurate. I mean, that's the growing trend. Unfortunately, every single day that happens. You know, where people, they start something, they're very passionate. You know, they start a business, they have a website, they have a blog, Facebook page. 6 months later, they're back in the job. You know, and I've been through that myself in the past. You know, I've done it as well, and I've learned so many golden rules. Now, people know you from your Facebook case studies. Give a big explanation about your case studies, how you sort of create those laser-targeted campaigns for your clients, and you get really good results. For guys, if you don't know, David is spending almost $1 million in ad spend with your clients. You work with like big, huge clients. Tell us about your case studies, man. So what kind of clients do you work with?
Sure. So because we're spending, I think as of right now, we're spending about $2.5 million a month on advertising. So because of that, we see a lot of data every day. You know, we'll see men versus women, Android versus iPhone, you know, US versus Canada, you name it. We have all sorts of data. Whether you're selling supplements, you're selling fitness equipment, or you're selling a product on how to promote your agency or how to promote your insurance business, whatever it is, right? We promote a lot of digital product. We do some e-commerce. We have a supplement company that spends several $100,000 a month, right? We have some fitness companies that, you know, sell guides and fitness equipment and things like that. But we work with a lot of digital entrepreneurs. And so when they come to us, they know they're getting extremely detailed reporting. Not necessarily in a sense of like, oh, I'm sending you a PDF or you're getting a spreadsheet. But what they know is that when they go into their Facebook account and they look at the app, Instagram, Facebook, and they get on a phone call with me, it's not going to seem like a foreign language because I'm going to break it down in a way where they can understand it. And so very much like how I present that information to my clients, that's how I position it with a case study. Because you've seen a lot of my case studies. I try to make them as simple as possible while still delivering as much information as I can for the average advertiser or the advanced advertiser. And you saw in my recent one, which, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, I wrote a case study on an 11th month campaign so far that has done over $3 million, not including affiliate promotions, has had over 86,000 leads, and we spent about $404,000. Wow. So we had basically about $2.6 million in profit from the campaign, not including affiliate promotions. So I'm sure my client's done a lot more money than that.
Wow. So
the main thing that I understood in putting that case study together, because it took me several hours after spending several days going through the information, was that I want to make it so detailed that someone feels like they're going through a course.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want to create stuff like that because I feel like too many people create coursework these days trying to deliver like enough to get by, but not deliver enough for everyone to understand.
Sure.
It's enough for like an intermediate or even sort of above average beginner to go through the video and go, oh, I get it. But then the advanced user goes through and they go, oh, I already know this stuff. And that's why they get refunds from people who've already been running ads. Mm-hmm. So when I create something, I create it so that everyone across that spectrum is blown away. And in that post, you saw super advanced marketers going, holy crap, this is amazing. And you saw beginners going, wow, I've never read scan. And that's how I rate my case studies.
Absolutely. I think $2.6 million was the profit, was it? That itself is incredible. Incredible. I mean, you know, I've always, I've seen many Facebook marketers. I've come across a lot online. For me, hands down, you are the guy when it comes to Facebook ads, and that's my own opinion. I've always said it. You are the guy. You know, if you had to put Tom Cruise and a normal actor, you'd be the Tom Cruise of Facebook ads. So that's incredible, guys. That's incredible. Any sort of anyone who wants to start their own agency, because there's a lot of trend nowadays where people have got ClickFunnels, they want to start their own agency. What advice would you give to those people to start their own agency? What route should they take? Local business, or should they just go straight away any type of business?
Well, in the beginning, you're pretty much going to take whatever's thrown at you, right? Because in the client generation process in the beginning, the magic number is usually 10 clients, right? When you start, you're always wanting to go for 5, 10, 15 clients. You're assuming you're going to charge $1,000, $2,000 a month, because we all know that the magic number is either 10 clients or 10K a month, right? In the very beginning, we always strive for that. 6-figure year, right? Before taxes and all that other stuff. So if you're looking at just having a 6-figure revenue year as an agency, and you're just trying to get 10 or 15 clients, you're going to take everything that's thrown at you in the beginning. And in doing that, you will eventually figure out what you're great at. So it might, like for me, I found out that if you give me a digital marketer, regardless of who he is or who she is, if the offer is great, I can find a way to promote it and make it successful. With teamwork, obviously, between he or she and I, we can make this work. I did a lot of local campaigns. I did well with gyms, I did well with personal trainers, I did well with dentists and chiropractors, but I did not do well with insurance agents, loan officers. Real estate was tough in the beginning. So I found where I was great, and then I just kept evolving from there. But the minute a digital marketer said, hey, how do I make my webinar work? Or how do I get more people to apply for a strategy session? I was able to take that skill set and then start to apply it to other niches. It's like, oh, let me create a simple funnel for this niche, and then this funnel for this niche, and keep doing it over and over. So in the beginning, you're just taking everything because you want to figure out where you're really good. And then you start to define it after. It might be niche specific, you define it, or it might be a type of funnel. Right? Because some people will say, oh, I'm really good at getting strategy sessions. Great. What niches need strategy calls? Or what niche phone calls? And then go into those.
Absolutely.
I just happen to be great at both, but for a certain type of person.
One question I had in mind for you, David, and I remember speaking to you a couple of years ago, actually. You mentioned the call to action. So when you're doing link ads on Facebook, you said you don't use a call to action button. You know, the learn more button. What's your take on that now? Do you still use a call to action on an image ad, or do you still, what do you do in regards to that?
Every ad we deploy nowadays has a call to action button. I mean, it's evolved now, right? It's almost assumed that every ad you create in Facebook has a call to action, almost every single time. And you'll notice now when you ads, Facebook even gives you the option to add a call to action to ads that used to not have any, like a page post engagement ad or a video views ad. Those used to not have any CTAs. And then lately, you can add them post-production. You can add the CTA later, and that you couldn't even do even a year ago, right? And so now I'm using CTAs, the buttons, quite a bit, because when they first came out several years ago, people automatically knew it was an ad the minute you put that button, and they anything. Now, almost everything you see on Facebook practically has a button, so it blends in. And because of that, it just learn more or download. Like, those are the core two that I use for everything.
Awesome. Image ads or video ads? Do you use both, or what's your take on image ads and video ads?
We use both, but video is probably about 90 or 95% of all our campaigns. And I know for a lot of people that's a struggle because they hate being on camera, but people connect with people. They don't connect with stock photography. They don't connect with you looking at a mountain, looking off into the distance. They connect with you being in that mountain, talking to a camera, right? They want to get to know you. And so I find that people connect with data, they connect with proof, but they also connect with you being in front of that camera.
Yeah.
And so my clients, I go to them and I say, look, I know you hate being in front of the camera. Doesn't matter. I need you to record something that says you have a webinar coming up, or that you're putting together a mastermind. I need you to be honest and brutal with these people, because those are the ones you want anyway.
Yeah.
And what we find is that the more often they see you, the cheaper your leads become, the cheaper it costs to get a buyer. It becomes cheaper overall. It takes time. But as you're building that fan base, as you're building that clientele, and they see your face over and over and over, it just becomes natural for them to go, oh, hey, it's David, and then they watch your stuff, right? And so you need to start doing video if you haven't. And I was saying this 3-4 years ago, was start doing videos right now, start doing video ads right now, and now you can't go through a news feed without seeing a video every other post.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Other question I had for you was, there's been a growth of messenger ads, bots, Facebook marketing. Are you guys using the technology of messenger bots into your business? And what advice would you give to people on utilizing messenger bots?
We're using it a lot more. I feel like we can use it very much with every client that we have, but it takes time to build.
Yeah.
Right? I wish bots for all of my clients, right? Whereas if you have a webinar campaign, I could just copy this from one client to the next one. That will happen soon, I'm sure. But for now, the integration of bots is fantastic. We see it work well with posts where we're giving something away, or on a thank you page of a webinar. It's, if you have any questions, connect with us through Messenger. We even have an option where you can sign up for an auto webinar through a Messenger button, right? There's all sorts of different things you can do. But what I'm finding is that the build of a bot takes forever. And when you have 45 clients, you don't want to build even one bot, because all you think about is I have to do this 45 times. And so if there's a way to templatize that process, I wouldn't be surprised if more people start building bots for themselves and for others. But because it's not templatized, or at least not in the beginning, you have to build those templates and then find ways to integrate them with other people. It's such a hassle that most people just don't do it.
Absolutely.
And so it's still a massive opportunity, but it needs to be simplified.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a really good point, because I think people tend to complicate the process, and it's just keeping it simple. One of the main questions I had to put forward towards you was placement. What do you do in terms of placement? I mean, do you always split test mobile, desktop, right-hand ads? You mentioned Instagram. What placements are you having the most success with right now?
So the Facebook newsfeed is still where we get the best buyer data. Depending on what we're promoting, the subject matter or the item that we're promoting, there are times where the Instagram feed does better. It depends. Now, when you talk about placement, I'm not necessarily going to mention placement here. When I'm talking optimize, if you create a 60-second video that connects with the audience, 60 seconds is the ideal time frame where an ad can run on Facebook and Instagram simultaneously. Meaning you don't have to switch one off and the other one on or split test it. You can run automatic placements and let Facebook tell you where that video is working better. Because there are times as well, in the past I used to say audience network doesn't work either. Now, I have some campaigns where my audience network ads are performing almost 50% better than the feed. And it's with the same video that I mentioned that's only 60 seconds long. If you really want to find what placement works best for you and you have a video ad that's 60 seconds, you could let Facebook tell you that from the very beginning. It'll run it on all the different placements for you and then tell you where to run it more. And when you start to get that data, let's say Instagram is getting you the best leads, just duplicate the ad set and run the same video to just that one placement, and vice versa with any other placement you want to run it to. Now, if you don't have a video that's 60 seconds, you have to go back to the traditional way of doing it, where it's an ad set for Instagram, an ad set for the Facebook feed, an ad set for Audience Network, or an ad set even for the Messenger home placement now, where you could put an ad on the home feed of the Messenger, where when the minute you open it on your phone, you see an ad now. It's not a Messenger ad, it's a ad that appears in the Messenger box. And so if you wanted to test everything separately with an image, do it that way. Don't do automatic.
Yeah.
And if video is over 60 seconds, same thing. You got to split it up. But the real hack here is do a 60-second video and let Facebook tell you.
Awesome. Any 3 golden nuggets you want to share before you go? Any 3 golden nuggets that you could share for 2018 for Facebook ads?
Yep. So, I mean, I just kind of gave one. I'll reiterate really quick. 60-second video or less, automatic placement. Try it. It's worth it. You get some really amazing data. Number 2, if you're going to do any sort of retargeting, suggest looking into in-stream video ads and Instagram stories. They're 15 seconds apiece. They're basically the same. You use this. But one goes to Instagram for it's a swipe-up campaign where it appears when people are going through Instagram stories, and the other one appears during or post-video, and it's 15 seconds when someone's viewing a video on their mobile or desktop device of a video in the feed. Those 2 placements alone bring me quite a bit of traffic back to a funnel that maybe they had seen or they already registered for, but they did not take action. So those 15-second slots, a lot of people just don't try. They just don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of your people in the group have seen those placements and just never even looked into them, right? And then third, if you're going to use messenger ads, I highly suggest you find a way to incorporate a video that goes into the message. Now, right now, you can't directly post a video, right? You can't just like instill a video and then it just like, oh, click play, right? It's more of like a link. So what I do is I create very much like an image ad like you normally would, but when you're doing a messenger ad, it shows the image. And when they click that image, it takes them to a video that is as customizable as possible. A template where we don't ever mention the person's name, but it's a video that would apply to anybody who's ever messaged you, right? So if you're doing, let's just say, like an application campaign where you're trying to get strategy calls, those messenger ads work incredibly well, and they're super cheap.
Awesome.
They're super cheap.
Wow.
So definitely give those a shot.
Guys, you know, this is David giving full value to you guys, and I'm blown away with the strategies. I've learned several strategies, and David, I just want to say, you know, appreciate you actually taking the time to do this interview and to give that value that you've shared right now, which is, you know, people charge a lot of money for this, so I really appreciate that, what you've done today.
No problem, my pleasure.
Cool. Okay, guys, David's going to sign out. He's going to say bye to you guys. Any last words you want to say before you go?
Yeah, so if you want to follow me, you can just go to facebook.com/SCHLOSSY. That's my personal profile, so if you want to message me, you can. I do check my other inbox. If you want to follow me or friend request me, that's where you would do so. Into 2018, I will be posting more on my fan page. I'm going to turn that into a year-long case study. So if you want to follow a blank fan page for now until January, it's facebook.com/David M. Schloss. And once again, last name is spelled SCHLOSS. And so next year, just like how I posted a case study a couple days ago about a $3 million promotion, I'm turning my fan page into a giant case study for 2018 of how you can establish a personal brand using Facebook with very little money and still get big results. And that's going to be the whole year. So you could witness it in real time.
Awesome. David, thank you so much. I hope you have a safe journey wherever you're going, and we hope to hear from you again sometime, David.
Appreciate it. Thank you again.